Hello guys, welcome to episode 7, BU Squalor here. Take a quick look at our offense before we get started on the draft, see what weaknesses we have. The offensive line is very solid. We definitely need some tight ends back, maybe draft or somehow figure out how to free agent one. Wide receivers pretty solid. Running backs are good. We need a backup quarterback, I think, but I think we'll just pick one up off free agency. So on the defense, that's just a tight end or two, maybe a running back, I don't know. And then on defense, right outside linebackers in general, but right outside linebacker, and then a real defensive tackle. Nice run-stopping defensive tackle. The cornerbacks seem fine, so that's when we stand there. And we do not have a punter. I don't want to use Mason Crosby to be the punter, so that's also what we need. Alright, see you in the draft. Welcome to the NFL 2017 draft. I'm your host, BU Squalor, and we're watching this live on Brett Star TV. I will be going over the draft in actual time. No, it'll be, well, you'll see what I'm talking about. Let's resume the draft. And so far, with the number 1 pick, the San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. So we could sit here and talk about what the San Francisco 49ers need, but I don't know the answer, so we are just going to pause it, and we're going to skip ahead in the draft. That's the next pick. The San Francisco 49ers select Eb Goodson, defensive tackle. Alright guys, the 49ers selected Matt Goodson. He was on the draft chart to be the number 1 pick overall, and the 49ers took him. He's 23 years old, and he had a combine score of 6.4. I was hoping to look him up and see where he was on it, but they didn't allow me to do it, so I'll have to do it after the draft. Let's see who the Colts have selected. Right outside linebacker, Tajay Martz. Tajay Martz was supposed to be selected 3rd. He was selected 2nd by the Colts. And now the Chicago Bears are on the clock. I think they're going to go left tackle right here. But no, they went quarterback. They selected the 2nd quarterback overall, Paul Akers. Paul Akers. Selected 3rd by Chicago, by the Bears. And now the Baltimore Ravens are on the clock, and they select cornerback Trammell Mickens. He was 7th overall, and he went to the Ravens. I'm keeping track of this on a sheet too. And now the Cleveland Browns are on the clock, and they select free safety. Let me pause it for a second here. Free safety, let's see if we can find him. Free safety, John Swift. He was supposed to go 11th, and he was selected 5th overall by the Browns. Alright, and Kansas City is now on the clock. And let's see who they select. So far, everybody selected the number 1 position in their thing. They select right outside linebacker, Jawan Poindexter. He was supposed to go 10th overall. He went 6th to KC, the Chiefs. The Saints are now on the clock. This is going very quickly, and they select Kennedy. Margaretto Kennedy. He's the number 1 right end, and he went 7th overall to the Saints. Alright, I need to take a quick pause here. To the Saints. Alright, what do we got here? We got the Titans selected, and they have Marcus Mariota, but they selected Let's see. Scott Davies, the third quarterback on the draft board. And they selected him 8th overall to the Titans. And let's resume the draft. Arizona Cardinals are on the clock. So far, the number 1 left tackle, the high-end left tackles haven't been selected, and the second quarterback. Everybody else has kind of gone in order. Right end. This is the number 2 right end, T.R. Haggardner, and he went number 9 to the Cardinals. And wide receiver, who's supposed to go 17 overall, went 10. This is the number 1 wide receiver to the Redskins. The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Buccaneers selected a wide receiver as well. They selected the number 2 wide receiver, 18th overall. They selected him 11th. Now the Chargers are on the clock. The Chargers also went wide receiver, selecting the next wide receiver, which is the 3rd wide receiver, which is supposed to go 19th, 12th overall to the Chargers. Minnesota is now on the clock. Minnesota went with a cornerback. He went with the 3rd cornerback overall, so skipping the 2nd cornerback. 13th, and he was supposed to be drafted 16th, Minnesota Vikings. And now the Raiders are on the clock. The Raiders have selected wide receiver. This is the 4th wide receiver supposed to be selected, 21st overall, and they selected him 14th to the Raiders. I didn't scout all the players. I'm just using the draft board as is, how you get it, 1 through 50. The Buffalo Bills select left outside linebacker Sanchez Clay, number 1 linebacker, supposed to be 15th overall, and they did select him at 15. That's a right on the spot kind of draft. The Miami Dolphins select Levon Gunn. Let me pause this for a second. Oops. And I'm not sure if age plays a factor in drafting, but here are some interesting statistics about it. The Chiefs, Saints, and Bucks draft picks were all 24 years old at the time of drafting. The Vikings have the youngest player at 21. Let's resume the draft. The Jaguars are on the clock. And let's see, who do the Jaguars take? They take a wide receiver, Paul Ritzman. Let me pause this for a second. Paul Ritzman is the 25th pick on the thing. They took him 17th, the Jags. So let's talk about something here. The top 50 draft class here had 4 quarterbacks, 3 halfbacks, and 11 wide receivers in the top 50. The rest of the positions, cornerback had 6. The rest of the positions very sprinkled with only 1 or 2. Some defensive tackles that were pretty solid too. So, well, that's that. Let's resume the draft. The Atlanta Falcons are on the clock. Usually pick right around 140. Yep. T-Tuck. So who is this? This is Tyrone Tuck, the 3rd defensive tackle. Should have been taken 20. It was the 22nd player listed on the board, and they took him 18th. Falcons. New York Jets, New York Giants are on the board, and they took a halfback. All right, let's find this halfback. Is it Lawrence Reed that they took? Yep, Lawrence Reed. They took him 19th. He is 23rd on the list. I'm tracking these where they're drafted because I want to look up their overalls to see how well the teams did. The Bengals took a cornerback. They took Devon Maroney. He was 14th on the board, and they took him 20th. The Bengals. Other teams didn't really like him, and they skipped him, so the Bengals took him. Now the Seahawks are on the board. There are the 3 left tackles. Oh, there we go. Thomas Saturday was the 2nd left tackle, number 5 overall, taken 21st by the Seahawks. That was the 2nd tackle overall on the board. So the Carolina Panthers are on the clock. They took the next left tackle, which was the number 1 tackle. So this should be an interesting look to see if the Seahawks picked the correct tackle or if the Carolina Panthers did. Looking forward to reviewing that one since they took it. Quarterback. Let's see where this quarterback falls. This is the 4th quarterback, 24th over, Chuck Hickoke. Nice name there. 23rd overall to the Broncos. And the Texans are on the clock, and they select left end. Josh McClellan, the first left end on the board, and they select him 24th overall. He should have gone 29th. He was the 29th player on the board to the Texans. And the Lions pick another cornerback, Fernando London. They pick him 25th overall. He's the 31st ranked player, and he goes to the Lions. And the Titans, let's take a quick pause here. The Titans selected Jaron Goda. They selected him 26th overall. He's the 27th player on the board to the Titans. Resume the draft. The Pittsburgh Steelers are on the clock. The 3rd left tackle and the 2nd quarterback are still available, and they are listed way high on the draft board. They take the defensive tackle. I must pause this because I have to find it. Right back. And they took the 4th defensive tackle on the board, Pittsburgh Steelers. He was the 28th player. They took him 27th overall. And let's resume the draft. The Cleveland Browns are on the clock. Let's see who the Cleveland Browns select. They select right tackle. Margarantio Ganu. He is the first right tackle selected, and he is 28th. He's the 36th player who's taken by the Browns. Okay. Ooh. Dylan Gunn. He is taken 29th. He is the 2nd quarterback rated, and he's 8th on the board, taken by the Cowboys. Maybe the Cowboys got a good deal here. I'm going to highlight this one because I'm curious to find out if they got a good one. Alright, it's time to make my selection, so I have to pause it. First, we need to figure out where. Oh, skipped a bunch of wide receivers. This is the 9th receiver overall in the top 50, Jordan Pinnock, and he was selected 30th overall. He's the 37th rated player, and he was taken by the Jets. They skipped a couple of players. Looking at the top 50 board, number 6 left tackle, is left. The Packers do not need a left tackle, so we're going to skip that. The number 1 tight end overall is available. The number 1 right guard is overall available. And then, let's see, because we're picking 31. I'm talking about ones that are inside on the board, inside the top 32. And 32 is a wide receiver. So, really, we have to take a look at the tight end to see if we want to go that route. Let's take a look at our draft board. I did not scout this tight end. He's a vertical threat tight end, 6'7". Take a look at his fast, big tight end for Aaron Rodgers to throw to. But he would be Richard Rodgers' backup. We just signed Richard Rodgers to a big deal. Looking at the remaining first-round picks, there are none. So, I'm not sure about that. Let's see. I did not scout this Julius Samuel. He is he's the 3rd right outside linebacker. He's 21 years old and ran a 7.3 combine, so he's got a very solid combine. But he is a 2nd round pick. So there's just not, this cornerback, it's not really a strong thing that I want. Let's check out real quick here my scout watched players. So I got a watched wide receiver and then 2nd round picks. Available. What did I scout for? No, I didn't really. All my players were taken. So we have the 3rd tackle overall. You know, it's kind of a. Oh, I don't know. What do you guys think? Man, looks like it's going to be a pretty solid tight end. Unfortunately, I didn't scout him at all. He's supposed to go 26th overall. They don't need the other ones. We're going to select Brady Kropog with our 1st pick overall. He is the 9th rated thing. Quick development. We drafted him at 31st. He's an 80 overall. It is a solid but unnecessary pick. It is definitely the best player available. Very excited about this pick. It was a very solid pick. He's a quick development tight end. So I am good with that pick. And let's see who the Super Bowl champions pick with their overall pick. They won by 2 points against Green Bay. It was a sad game. I'm sorry about the stuttering. I figured out that my computer was overheating, and I've now hooked up a house fan to it. It's an old clunker from 8 years ago. They take right guard. I wonder where that right guard is. He's the 30th player. He's the 1st right guard. They took him 32nd to the Patriots. Okay, we're gonna continue, even though I was only gonna do the 1st round. We're gonna just continue to see if these guys are on the top 50. Who is Lee? Levan Lee is the 8th wide receiver overall. He was taken 33rd. He's the 35th player. Le'Veon Lee. He was taken by the 49ers. Strong safety, Darby Bog. That was the number 1 strong safety in the top 50. They took him 34th overall. He is the 39th ranked player on the board. He was taken by the Colts. Oop. What happened? Nope. So the Cowboys took a cornerback. They took K-Laws. Harvey Laws. He's the 6th rated cornerback overall. They took him 35th, and he is the 44th player on the board. And the Baltimore Ravens take a cornerback. They take the 5th cornerback. He's 36th. He was the 41st player on the board, and he was taken by the Ravens. We're back to the Browns are on the clock. The Browns select right tackle Rashad Ogilvie. He was the 47th player on the board. They took him 37th. Now we should start getting into players that haven't been or not on the board. This is a right outside linebacker. No, it is not. Jay Samuels. He is the 38th. This was one of the ones I was looking at. This is a 2nd round pick. He's 21 with a 7.3 overall. I need to pause it for a split second here. Oops. What just happened? I was looking at this player. I was kind of interested in him, so I'm going to mark this one. I'm curious to see. Oh, I got to pause it. We're falling behind. Hold on. So he was the 38th pick overall. He's 38th, and he was picked 38th, so there you go. He's picked by the Chiefs. And then the left tackle, is this the... Oh, this is the 6th overall player on the board, taken 39th by the Seahawks. Now, what's really interesting is the Seahawks also took the 2nd overall player, Thomas Saturday. So we're going to look at that one too, because they selected one 39 and the other one 21. So they selected 2 left tackles. Be right back.